Hey, welcome to the Big Bear Homestead, and today is episode 4 in the Predator Control on the Homestead series. So today, we're going to the Slytherin house. We're talking snakes. Okay, so I know snakes are not everybody's favorite creature to talk about. Matter of fact, I can almost be willing to bet that for most of you, snakes is not even in your top 10 of animals that you enjoy talking about. But we have to talk about them. Because if these guys move in your homestead, you're going to have to deal with them. They are a predator. So, let's learn a little bit about the biology of these Slytherin creatures. Alright, so let's talk snakes. Snakes are unique. Snakes live just about everywhere on this planet. They live in forests, they live in deserts, they live in swamps, they live in wetlands, they even live in the ocean. In fact, unless you live in Ireland, New Zealand, Iceland, Antarctica, or Alaska, you got snakes. So let's talk biology. Snakes are what are called ectothermic. It means they're cold-blooded. They get their body heat from their environment. That's why you see them sunning on rocks or on a log or in the middle of the road. And that's also why during the heat of the day, you'll catch them at the bottom of a wood pile, up underneath some trash, buried in some leaves out in the forest. They're trying to regulate their body temperature. Now, snakes consist of venomous and non-venomous. Snakes don't have a nose. Now I know some of you are screaming at the screen right now saying yes they do, yes they do. That's not a nose that you see on some of them. Those are just little pits that help them detect heat. That's not a nose. How a snake smells is, you notice how a snake is always flicking his tongue? And what he's doing is when he flicks that tongue, he's catching air molecules and he brings them back into his mouth. And he has an organ at the roof of his mouth called a Jacobson's gland. And that gland determines where his food source is, danger, blah, blah, blah. It kind of works like our nose. So, you have venomous and non-venomous. So how do you tell them apart? Well, this is where I'm going to hook you up. Okay? Venomous snakes. At least here in the continental United States, most venomous snakes have a triangular shaped head, a diamond shaped head. They also have cat-like pupils, meaning their pupil in their eye goes straight up and down like a slit. Okay? Some of them do have those pits. Your non-venomous snakes have an oval-shaped head and a cat-like pupil. Now, there is one extremely venomous snake here in the continental United States that does not have a triangular shaped head. That is the coral snake. Now, I need you guys to close out all your other windows, and I need you guys to pay attention to me right here because this is extremely important. A coral snake can be confused with a milk snake, but there is one definite, without a doubt, way to tell if it's a coral snake or a milk snake. Okay? And it has a nursery rhyme with it. Listen to what I'm saying. If red touches yellow, it will kill a fellow. If red touches black, it is a friend of Jack. So, on the pattern of a coral snake, if the red band touches the yellow band, it's a coral snake. But if the red band touches a black band, it is a milk snake. Now, most of your venomous snakes here in the continental United States, your rattlesnake, copperhead, moccasin, they have retractable fangs that come out and hit you like needles, and that's how they get the venom into the bite. A coral snake has to chew on you for a little bit. Okay? So with that being said, it's a little bit harder for the coral snake to get his venom in you. Now, the bright side to this is that most of your venomous snakes, when they bite you, it's what they call a dry bite. Because see, they have to, if they push that venom out, they have to remake it, and they use that venom to kill their food. So the last thing that they want to do is use it as a defense mechanism. But don't ever rely on that. If you do get bit, obviously, get your butt to medical personnel. But that is just one of those things that it's good information to know. So, enough science. Let's talk about why are they out on your homestead and what to do about it. Alright, now snakes, they're like any other animal. And with that animal, they're going to follow their food supply. They're going to follow where they need shelter, water. And where is a perfect place for that? Your homestead. So your homestead is basically nothing more than the grand buffet for snakes. You've got eggs, chicks, quail, rabbits, chickens, ducklings. You might as well just put out a neon sign and start playing Brooks and Dunn music. And trust me, they'll be there. They'll come. So, how do you know if you have an infestation of snakes? Okay, one surefire way to know whether or not you have a snake problem is you see the snakes. But don't fret, there are other signs. Simple things, such as you're not getting as many eggs as you used to. The hen that went broody was sitting on 19, 20 eggs, but she's only got 3 chicks running around. And then it's 2 chicks, and then it's 1 chick. And there's no sign of any type of other predator. There's no feathers laying around or anything like that. They're just gone. Now, another sign that you may have snakes is you may find this around your wood pile, around your pond, around your chicken coop. This is a snake skin. Now this one's a pretty old snake skin. It's all busted up. But snakes usually shed their skin right after they eat. And they have to go across something rough to help pull the skin off, whether it's the side of the coop, some rocks, some of your split wood. So, now, you know you have a snake problem. So now the next question is, what are you going to do about it? All right, so now we know we have snakes. So what are some things that we can do to limit the damage that they can do? Well, If you're walking around your property and you see the snake skins or you see the snake, remember where you saw them. That night, you and your family have pizza. Just get you a regular old pizza box. Okay? Then, after you guys have pizza, get out your old trapper's glue. Okay? Then, you need to take your pizza box, get you a razor knife or your pocket knife. Okay? You need to cut a slot in your razor or in your box. Okay? Cut you a hole just about like that. Okay? Now I want you to do this on both sides. I just cut that one, but I already had another one cut over here. Okay? So, you've done that. Open up your pizza box. Now, another thing you got to do is you got to make a trip to the pet store. And you go talk to the manager and say that you want a bag of the bedding out of their mice and rat aquariums. Get some of that bedding. Because that bedding is going to be loaded with urine and feces that you can just bring into this box and put in the center. But hold off for a second. Now, when you got your pizza box open, take your trapper's glue, okay, and spread it around the perimeter of the box. And give yourself a good 2-3 inches all the way around. Then in the center of your pizza box, okay, you've got your glue all the way around like this. Okay? Then in the center of your pizza box, put that bedding in there. Close your lid. Take this pizza box, slide it underneath the wood pile, underneath the chicken coop, underneath the shed, in the crawl space underneath the house, wherever it was that you saw those. If it's by the pond, slide it up underneath some brush. Then, depending upon your state regulations, you come back, you'll have a snake, probably have his tail or something hanging out on the side or part of his body hanging out. If you don't have anything hanging out, you open it up, you got the snake trapped in there. Now, take the information that we gave you on how to identify whether it's venomous or non-venomous. If it's venomous, just throw the box away, because most states do require you to kill a venomous snake. If it's non-venomous and your state requires you to relocate it, take you some vegetable oil, coconut oil, even Italian salad dressing. Pour it over the snake, grab him behind the head, and gently start to pull him away from the glue. The oil will help remove him from the glue. Coat him down with the oil real good to make sure he doesn't have any more glue residue on him. And then take him away to relocate him somewhere. Or just, if it's a king snake, I would just let him go again on your property. But if he's venomous, just take the box, and throw it away. His head will be stuck to the glue, so you don't have to worry about him accidentally biting anybody. Or you can just, if you got a burn pit, just burn it. Or you could go ahead and chop him with a shovel or something and kill him while he's still in here. That's completely up to you. You can make that decision all on your own. But let's say you don't want to mess with all of that. Okay? That's just too in-depth and too much in your personal space when it comes to a snake. There's another option. There's a deterrent out on the market. It is a chemical. Okay? But with that being said, I must admit, in my professional career as a nuisance wildlife control officer owning my own nuisance wildlife control business, I have used this product thousands of times, and it's worked 99.9% of the time. I even had to use it on my Forever Homestead when we first got here because we had a huge rattlesnake problem. And that product is called Dr. T's Snake Away. Now, he's not a sponsor of the channel, or I'm not getting paid in any way, shape, or form for mentioning it. I'm telling you factual. I have used this for over a decade now. What you do is you get yourself just a normal everyday seed spreader. Normally this is used for grass seed or to spread out a weed and feed or something like that. You set it. Ours has on the handle, it has notches of how much the opening is going to be able to spread it. We usually put this on 4 or 5 when we're spreading out the snake away. I will fill this completely up. Then take it out, squeeze the trigger, and just spread it out around the areas, around your wood piles, pond, chicken coops, wherever you're really seeing the snakes. Now, like I said before, I have used this here on my Forever Homestead. I have never, ever had any issue with it affecting my it's affected my snakes, but I've never had it affect my chickens, quail, ducks, geese, dog, cat, cow, sheep, none of my livestock, and my children haven't been poisoned or been affected by it either. It comes out in a very small granule form, and the moment you put it out is when it's at its strongest. Then in the morning when the dew comes out, it starts to get weaker. Just like coffee, the more water you add, the weaker it gets. Now, if you have a very aggressive snake problem, I highly suggest this. You might only have to put it out 2-3 times, but you put it out every 30 days. What this does is the stuff that's in it as a snake, remember the snake is flipping his tongue, catching them molecules. And remember I talked about that organ, that Jacobson's gland? Well, the stuff that's in there burns that Jacobson's gland, and they hightail it. Okay? So, with that being said, it's not discriminatory. It gets rid of all of the snakes. So that's besides it being a chemical, that's the second downfall to it. Not only will it get rid of your venomous snakes, but it'll get rid of the ones that you probably want to have around anyway. So that's a decision that you have to make depending on the population of your venomous, non-venomous snakes and your own personal phobia when it comes to snakes. So, like I said, it's an option, it is a deterrent, and it never, in my experience, has ever caused any issue with livestock, pets, or children. Alright, well there it is. Another exciting episode of Predator Control on the Homestead. Episode 4, Snakes. I hope this video has helped you guys on many different levels. I hope it helped you with figuring out what type of snakes you have. I hope it has given you options on how to deal with snake infestations. But most of all, I hope it has given you guys some knowledge to help with phobias and fear. That way you just don't turn and run every time you see a snake. Hopefully. Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.bigbearhomestead.com. Don't forget, while you're there, please check out our shop. We are adding new things all the time. Maybe you guys might find something you like. It's getting close to Christmas time. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Come over to the Facebook world. Give us the old like. Don't forget, we are always live streaming on Tuesdays, as you were. Mondays, Mama does her oils class from 9 to 10:30. And if you guys have any questions regarding essential oils, please email her at bigbearfarmsoils@hotmail.com. We are also, our live stream on the Homestead Network is on Saturdays from 7 to 8. These are all Eastern Standard Times. Speaking of the Homestead Network, please go to thehomesteadnetwork.com. You can see a list of all of the shows and their times. And the nice thing about it is you can click on that show and it'll take you right there to that channel's YouTube page, and you can go step right into the stream. Also, while you're there, in the upper right hand corner, there is a place for you guys to put your email address. Please sign up for that. What we're doing with that is, if there happens to be a show change, Brad from Big Family Homestead is sending out a mass email saying, hey, Big Bear Homestead, they got bad weather, or Jason got hit by a truck, so they're not going to be on tonight. Go on over to Go for Green Living or Deep South Homestead or somebody, Tommy, they're filling in for him. So go make your adjustments that way. Also, the Homestead Network has the Homestead Network Forum and Barter groups on Facebook. So come on over and join them. Also, while you're out on our YouTube channel, please go up there and hit that P for the Patreon. Go visit it, listen to the video, look at the rewards. If it's something that you're able to do, thank you very much. If not, we understand. So that does about all my soliciting. So thanks for coming by the Big Bear Homestead. And like always, have a nice day.